Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. It is the last Saturday of the month of April. And, actually, I noticed this morning, and this for sure was my high, but, I sleep right next to my window. My room is actually in the wall behind me, right? There's a window right there. And not that I could see the sun rise itself, but I could notice how it's getting like lighter sooner, if that makes sense. Like, instead of waking up seeing pitch black in the morning, I'm seeing, I see skies of blue. Okay, so yeah, it's actually really cool to see. It is. It's definitely, honestly, it's a sign of what's to come. It is. Definitely something like that is a nice sort of pick-me-up considering what this whole month has been for me. But yeah, it's the last Saturday in April. That's freaky. In fact, actually yesterday was a very solid day. Honestly, my only low is the fact that, I kind of procrastinated going to bed last night simply because, there was some stuff I wanted to do, but I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway, but because it took so long to do it, I went to bed later than I should have. Stuff like that. I was being lazy. I shouldn't do that. Don't get me wrong, you gotta give yourself a rest period every once in a while. You have to give yourself, a mental break. I know that, but I'm just not the kind of guy that feels comfortable doing that, though, If everyone else was doing it around me, then I'd probably, I would be a follower in that case. I know be a leader, not a follower, but come on, man. I don't want to be the only person being lazy. I don't want to do that. That's not cool for me. And my act of kindness what was my act of kindness? I held the door for some people yesterday. I did that. I actually, you know what? Here's another thing I did. So I was entering Hanover Square last night, right? As I was on my way to Nick's. And if you've ever been to Hanover Square, there's a giant 6-way thing where it goes the 6 different streets. So actually, is it? Yeah, 5. I think it might be a little less than that, but let's say for the sake of argument, it's 6. And hardly anyone knows, who gets there first, and it gets all, and there's one area where there's, no stop sign at all. So there was one person, I clearly got to the stopping before the other person did, but I let that person go. So I let someone else go in front of me, which was nice. Seriously, okay, this actually reminds me of a story before I get into today's topic. One of my all-time favorite places, Honor Roll, which is going to be on the Cutler list eventually. I'm going to get to that soon enough. They did an announcement about what's going to be happening, including the fact that they're bringing back the watermelon salad. I'm so excited. I want my watermelon salad. Oh, May 29th can't come soon enough. Okay, so basically, the guy was I actually know the owner. The guy was actually trying to do a live video, in Hanover Square or whatever, and he actually, saw, crazy traffic go by. He's that's Hanover Square for you. That's exactly what Hanover Square is, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, so, with all that taken care of, I just lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. I was actually kind of planning on having, this be the topic for today, so I am. It's an Arc Thoughts, folks. Yeah, if you recall, I used to do Arc Thoughts for One Piece, but in the wake of Akira Toriyama's passing, I thought I'd bring it back again to do my thoughts and overall experiences with the Dragon Ball franchise. Now, the first day I did both the Pilaf Saga and the 21st Budokai Tenkaichi. And then a little bit later, I did the Red Ribbon Army saga, Arc saga. They're pretty much the same thing in a lot of ways. So here's the thing, like, my first video got like a whole ton of views. The second one didn't. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should say this to monthly like I used to do for One Piece. Which, by that way, I can make this go on for a long time, because I could do the 22nd Budokai Tenkaichi today. I could do Piccolo next month. 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi in June. Saiyan in July, Frieza in August, Cell in September, Boo in October. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do if I'm going to do Dragon Ball GT yet. I'll have to plan it by year. But if not, after Boo, I'll do Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, Universe 6. Basically, it's going to take me into next year until I get to the most recent one, which should be the Black Frieza Saga. So I could be doing this for a long time. At least for the next year. So, that said, let's get to the 22nd Budokai Tenkaichi. Now, the format of this one was different, because the way that the Budokai Tenkaichi works, or World Martial Arts Tournament, if you will, is they have it it used to be they had it every 5 years, but then they decided to have it every 3 years because I guess 5 years is too long or something. I forget what they explained, but it's after the Red Ribbon Army has been defeated. You know, Goku is now training for the 22nd Budokai Tenkaichi, but he's doing it by himself. Krillin and Yamcha are training with, Master Roshi, but Goku's doing training on his own. And by the time we get to the 22nd Budokai Tenkaichi, or World Martial Arts, I'll be using World Martial Arts Tournament and Budokai Tenkaichi interchangeably, by the way, in case you couldn't already tell. Things have changed. I mean, because there's actually, and totally not Mark mentioned this when he did his review of it, but there's a panel of like Goku standing like this for the 21st, and the second time when at the 22nd, but he's taller. Like that's the sort of thing you wouldn't notice on like a first read unless you're really paying attention. I mean, even back then, Akira Toriyama had a pretty solid attention to detail. I mean, listen, every mangaka is always pulling story out of their heads. Everyone knows that. But that's like a really neat little detail. And it's now we talk about the major antagonist of this arc. I wouldn't say there was a bad guy per se antagonist. And that was the Crane. See, the Master Roshi is the Turtle Hermit, and his rival, the Crane Hermit. And the Crane School of Martial Arts. Specifically, their best fighter, Tien Shinhan, who, for those of you who don't know, he's the guy with the third eye in the center of his head. Actually, I don't think they ever explained if that eye's real or not. Huh. Is that eye real? I actually don't know. Anyway, so it turns out Tien Shinhan, powerful fighter of his own right. Like, he breaks Yamcha's leg, and when he fights Jackie Chun, who's Master Roshi in disguise, here's the thing. Master Roshi probably could have won, but then he decided not to. See, and totally not Mark mentioned this when he did his video on the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. Like, the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament was like Master Roshi teaching the boys a lesson of there is always going to be someone who is stronger, so that gives you incentive to train harder. This time, however, because, at this point, Master Roshi's old enough to think, okay, I can't do this forever. I'm going to leave this to the next generation, Goku, Krillin, Yamcha. Eventually it gets to Tien Shinhan and obviously Chaozu as well. I didn't mention Chaozu yet because, he's really there as sort of a comedic foil for Krillin, which Krillin does eventually beat in the ring. So, actually, there's a funny scene where Chaozu is making fun of Krillin for being bald, and Krillin says, well, you're wearing a hat. You're bald too. Then Chaozu takes off his hat and he has one hair, and then Krillin's like, You only have one hair. And then Chaozu's like, one more than yours, Baldy. That was actually pretty funny. So, enough beating around the bush. Let's get to the two best fights of the whole arc, which is first, Goku versus Krillin. Yeah. Like, these are two fighters who've known each other for at this point, at least a good, 5 years. So, naturally, they know each other's quirks. They know who's able to do what. All that, right? It almost looks as if Krillin's gonna win. Because, remember, Goku has his tail. And this is actually something I'm going to say. Anytime anyone grabs Goku's tail, he gets weak. Like, that is his weak spot, right? So Krillin grabs Goku's tail, and it looks like Goku's weak, right? Surprise. Remember I said how Goku did training on his own? Part of his training was so that anyone could grab his tail, but he wouldn't feel weak anymore. Like, there's this one, I'm pretty sure this is a filler scene in the anime, but like, there's like this whole slew of monkeys that are grabbing each other by like their tails. Goku's at the very end of it with someone grabbing his tail, and he's able like to hold on like it's nothing. I think Goku just did that. So basically Goku pretended to fall because it was a fake out, which is cool. And then Goku does this one really cool technique where basically it was like Shade from One Piece, where it's like moving so fast you can't see him. And then Goku does like, and then Krillin falls out of the ring, right? No one else could see it but Chen Sinan could, which is basically Goku was moving so fast, he didn't notice that Goku punched Krillin 8 times. And that's how Krillin fell out of the ring. And that was a great fight already. But then we get to the main event. Chen Shinan versus Goku. I just mentioned the technique where Goku essentially is doing shade, right? Like he's moving fast, no one else can see him. Chen was able to get him. Like, right, like, boom! And then he got like, oh. So it looks like Goku ain't gonna be able to do that now. And then the fight gets crazy. Like, Chen is able to, like, give himself an extra set of arms. And then Goku's like, I'll do 8. And then Goku's like, shh. Then Goku's like 8 arms now. And then it's like ultimate, like, fighting stuff like that. Like, it was really cool. And all throughout the tournament, the Crane Hermit was antagonizing Master Roshi. Partly because, this is something I didn't mention yet. The master of the Crane School was actually Tao Pai Pai's brother, which Goku defeated. So, and Chen Shinan looked up to Tao Pai Pai. So obviously Chen Shinan is out for revenge. Even though throughout the tournament, or specifically during Goku's fight, Chen's like, okay, you guys are full of shit. So he completely dismisses, I think he's the one who completely dismisses the Crane Hermit. I forget how he does it though. But anyway, the climax of the fight comes to a head when Chen is able to fly up into the air, right? And before I continue, you're probably wondering, has Goku done the Kamehameha? At this point, I forget if he did or not. Because Yamcha actually tried that on Chen, but it turns out it didn't work. I should never really explain how it didn't work. But anyway, so Chen gets up in the air, does his signature move, which is Tri-Beam, destroying the ring. Now, for those of you who don't know, in the World Martial Arts Tournament, one of the rules is, if you fall out of the ring, you lose. So basically, Chen's plan was to destroy the ring, so, Goku would have the means to get out, and therefore, Goku loses. Which is kind of a cheap ploy, but you gotta admit, those are the rules. So, Chen fires Tri-Beam, right? And it looks like Goku lost. Like, the ring, completely gone. Goku jumped higher than Tien. So basically, it is basically a literal free-for-all in the air. A free-for-fall, if you will. Where basically, whoever lands on the ground first loses. And Goku does this one thing where he's going to use the Kamehameha, but instead of actually firing at Tien himself, he turns around and pushes himself like a rocket into Tien, sort of debilitating him. So, with Goku's last bit of energy, he does one more tiny Kamehameha, aiming it toward the ground to push him up in the air just that little bit. So, it really does look like Goku's going to win. So they're falling. And this is where I remember being so angry when this happened. Like, it really does look like Goku's going to win. Because, like, Tien is let's say that this knee is the ground. Tien is like right here. Goku is like right here, just a little bit behind him, right? A truck hits Goku and it ricochets Goku into the ground. Right before Tien is able to hit the ground. So Tien wins. I mean, Tien was definitely a good sport. He gives Goku the prize money because, let's be honest, Goku totally would have won were it not for the truck hitting Goku. But man, I will tell you what, I was so angry when I first saw that as a kid. I was mad. Like, I almost didn't want to watch the show anymore. But I stayed to the end. It looks like Tien is sort of an ally. We don't really know yet. But, you know, Tien is essentially one of the good guys now. And everyone celebrates, you know, having dinner with the prize money that Goku won. And it turns out Goku left his 4-star ball at the arena. Because remember, at the end of the Red Ribbon, at the end of the Red Ribbon Saga, Goku had his grandpa's 4-star ball, but, you know, he left at the arena. So Krillin goes to get it. And then they realize Krillin's taking a long time, so Goku gets there. And he sees that Krillin died. Someone murdered Krillin. Who? That's how the arc ends. Pretty crazy, huh? So, yeah. Like, I remember, and I'll never forget this too, because here in America, when anime was being dubbed into seasons, this season ended with Krillin's death, and then it goes back to the beginning before it gets to the next season, whatever it is. So I had no idea what was next. And unfortunately, I got to be so incredibly busy with school and everything, I didn't really watch the rest of it. Well, here's the thing. I did eventually do it, but it would be years later. So, yeah. The arc ends with Goku holding Krillin in his arms, crying because Krillin died. So what happens next? You gotta wait next month to see. I know I don't like leaving things at a cliffhanger, but that's how the arc ends. So you gotta wait till the next month to see what happens. I hope you like this video. If you like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel, find me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video. For all of you guys watching, enjoy every day. We'll have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And remember, if you guys want to talk, channel, we here to lend your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.